who are probably, well, I don't know, but if they may be here for 241 Columbia. We're still in process of putting together a full kit of all of the materials associated, submitted. There's emails, there's photos, there's work that had been prepared by the commission. And the intent today was to, well, the intent yesterday, frankly, was to distribute all that to the commissioners. Without that kit, there will be no deliberation on that application. That'll have to wait till the next meeting when everybody has full documentation to consider. So if you had signed on specifically because of interest in 241 Columbia, that's not going to happen, at least in terms of deliberation. We may just at the end of the meeting confirm next steps with City Attorney Polidoro and make sure that we're in sync in terms of process. That said, our meeting is called to order. We have, I believe, 4 certificate of appropriateness votes. These are applications that had been approved in prior meeting, where the city attorney was asked to prepare a C of A, and public hearings in all these cases were waived. On that list.
Excuse me, Phil,
yeah,
we also have the minutes.
I'm very sorry. I didn't even put it on the agenda. So if commissioners would go ahead and take whatever time you need, unless you've already reviewed the minutes, to review minutes from the meeting of July 10. Thank you, Jim.
Mm-hmm. If everybody's ready to discuss the minutes, I have a few comments on 2 comments on West Court.
Yeah, please go ahead, Chip.
The paragraph of West Court, 6 West Court, about in the middle of that paragraph, it starts with Commissioner Boll asks about the proposed wall on the property line. That would more accurately reflect the discussion if we were to strike the words proposed wall on the and insert sidewalk at alley. That way that sentence would read, Commissioner Boll asks about the sidewalk at the alley property line.
Any objection from anyone? Otherwise, Aaron will go ahead and amend the minutes.
I would also like this paragraph to include a sentence. The sentence, the applicant states the off-street parking space was required by the city. I think that was clearly stated in the by Bob Walsh, that the reason for the off-street parking in the lawn was as a city requirement, and that was later commented on by our CEO, who said that in fact that parking space was not required. I subsequently had conversation with Bob Walsh about that, which I think we could talk about when we get to the certificate of appropriateness. I don't think it's appropriate to introduce that information while we're reviewing the minutes.
Agreed. So
That's
okay.
Those are my comments for 6 West Court. I also have comments for 241 Columbia.
Okay. I think I'd said, okay, it's in the minutes. Absolutely. Go ahead, Chip.
At 241, I do want a careful review by by our council regarding the text of this, and want to make sure that we're very clear in this text because this is a potentially legal paper trail of our discussion. And so I think it needs to be fully considered and reviewed. One item stands out to me, maybe about 2/3 of the way down in this paragraph, the sentence starting, Ms. Polidoro states they need to solely look at whether this meets the criteria for historical designation, and the board can't say what it does, but they want to go in another direction. I don't really know what's trying to be accomplished in that particular sentence, but I think it might be better if it were 3 sentences rather than 1.
It sounds nonsensical. I haven't had a chance to look at the minutes, so I'll go back and take a look.
The next sentence starts with Commissioner Foreman adds, there are items missing from the application that Code Enforcement Officer Haig and himself can help complete with the research and pictures. I think a more accurate rewriting of that sentence that would more accurately reflect what was said in the meeting is that Commissioner Foreman stated that as a board, we frequently assist applicants in their applications if they are missing information. And that's done both by the chairman frequently and also by the CEO. I think it's important to note that we do help applicants across the board with their applications. And I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, Phil, but I think that was the point that you were making.
That was exactly the point I was making. And it's also the reason why this commission is required to have an architect and historian on the commission. It's all about helping people and the commission get the right information. And if we have just a homeowner coming in or something, very often they need help, and we do. Craig is the first line on that, but we're part of that process.
Those were my most immediate comments about this section for 241. I just want a careful review by our council to make sure that we're not careless in our minutes that might reflect something in the future that we would need to answer to, or that didn't accurately portray the meeting.
Okay, that's just great and very helpful. Thank you, Jeff, for the careful reading. Again, I see some new folks have popped into the meeting, and I'm just saying everyone is welcome. We're a public meeting, all good. But if you had logged in or signed in specifically to discuss 241 Columbia, we're not going to do that today. We're still putting together files to make sure there's a complete record of what everybody submitted. So your decision, you're welcome to hang in, but just so you know.
Phil, I might ask if 241 will be on the agenda for our next meeting, if for no other reason, simply to keep people updated on it. And is our next meeting scheduled for the August the 7th?
Whatever the second Friday is in August, that would be the date. And absolutely, I had wanted to actually see if the commission was prepared to come to a vote in this meeting. And Paul Barrett and I had been working on putting together the documentation. We didn't do our duty on that. We didn't get it done. We'll get it done in time so that everyone has a chance to review. Absolutely, yes, I'm hoping that we move forward in the first meeting in August and are able to come to a vote.
The second meeting or the second Friday in August is actually the 14th.
Then that'll be the date.
Okay.
Cool. Certificate of appropriateness votes. First up, at least per the agenda I prepared, was 826 Union Street. May I have a motion to approve certificate of appropriateness as prepared by City Attorney Polidoro for 826 Union Street? Anybody who's in the mood? Philip, thank you. I thought you had morphed briefly into Che Guevara in your in your previous picture, which I thought was kind of outstanding. I'll second it. I never get to do that. We'll just do a voice vote. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any commissioners opposed? None opposed. Unanimous. C of A for 826 Union Street. Next,
Thank you, guys.
you're very welcome. Congratulations. Next up is 6 West Court Street. And Chip, I understand that there was a conversation with the contractor specific to the driveway issue. So that may be material in what we put into the C of A or don't put into the C of A.
So I'd like to report to the commission that I did have a telephone conversation with Bob Walsh, who is the contractor for 6 West Court Street, after our CEO, Craig, sent out the memo that the off-street parking space, in fact, is not a requirement of the city. And Bob was actually happy to hear that, and felt like it's a possibility that the owner would likely not want to build that on the lawn. That is the use of the concrete pavers interspersed amongst the lawn. So it would in fact look like a lawn, but still be a parking space. He had not, of course, had the opportunity to discuss it with the owner, but felt like that it would be positively received, that it may well be positively received. And that he, in fact, was going to also discuss it with the landscape architect for revision. I had, and this is where I need Victoria and others to comment, because I don't know the legal ramifications of what I'm about to say. And also, I'd like Craig's input in this.
Right. I just again, I can't give you any advice on this application.
Okay.
So
Thank
Craig's
you very
gonna have
much.
to weigh in. Sorry.
Understood. Thank you, Victoria. I've forgotten that. Thank you. I'll be looking for Craig's and others' comment about this. I had suggested that because the commission had in fact approved the paving walk, that that we could possibly, in our certificate of appropriateness, authorize Craig to not require that to be implemented. If the owner so elected to not build something that would be in the building permit application and in the approval of the commission.
Chip, I can put that in actually into the certificate, giving the owner latitude to not do the walk. I saw that driveway maybe a little bit differently. I saw it as I don't mean this critically. I thought it was sort of interesting, but a folly, a vanity to have a driveway clearly not intended for heavy use, but intended just to be there. And I didn't have a problem with it in that sense. If the commission is comfortable with language that gives the owner latitude to do the driveway as was in the application or not, I'm cool with it. Does anyone object or have a different view?
Good morning, everybody. This is Craig.
Hi.
I can chime in a little bit on this, a few things, and
Yes, sir.
Victoria may or may not comment as well regarding this. But first, to my knowledge, landscaping and driveways would be considered under that, have never been reviewed under historic. Secondly, I'd like to remind everybody, and again, when you as a commissioner or any city official approaching these applicants and owners of properties and so forth, keep in mind that you're doing that as a private citizen. You have no enforcement authority. So sometimes when this happens, we tell the property owner one thing because of what you feel or believe based on your position. Next thing you know, they go and do that, and they ultimately end up themselves in a violation because it could affect something else. So just be a little cautious with that. Not a big deal.
Thank you for
But
that
at this
caution,
point,
Craig.
the whole thing with driveways and where people can park their vehicles and things like that have never been, and I don't think there's any guideline under 169 of the city code regarding that under historic. So I don't know the legalities if you can implement something regarding it if it's not part of the code. So that's something I think the legalities will have to, kind of talk about maybe on a different note or something. Because they did come back to me and said, well, we were told we might have to do this and we were told we might have to do that. So, well, wait a minute. I don't know who's telling you that, but that's not how that works. Again, I don't know what you want to do with that, but that would be the only input I would have.
Okay, Craig, that's great and very helpful. I think the fairest and most commonsensical way forward, again, if there's no objection and Craig is comfortable, is that we approve the application as submitted, and if they don't do the brick thing or the paver thing, fine. But it's a interesting and well thought through project, and I'd like to see these guys go forward with construction.
Agreed.
Yes, anyone? Cool. May I have a motion then to approve the certificate of appropriateness for 46 West Port Street? Anyone?
I will.
Thank you very much, John. I will second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Unanimous. Thanks very much. And thanks everybody for thinking this one through. I have 201 Allen Street. My recollection, I think Walter Chatham made that presentation. I don't believe there were any contingencies or issues. May I have a motion to prepare the certificate of appropriateness for 201 Allen Street? Anyone? Miranda, thank you. Philip, second.
Before
Or-
you vote, there is some discussion.
Sorry, go ahead.
If you look at the C of A that I sent, let me pull it up. Is this? Oh no, this is not the one. We already voted on the one conditions. Never mind.
Thank you. We had a first, we had a second. All in favor, 201 Allen Street, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Approved unanimously. Thank you very much, everyone. There was an application, I'm addressing this to Craig, that came in for a sign like an hour ago. Craig, did you had a chance to review anything that just came in this morning?
What's the sign? What address?
It was like 79. Is anyone on the line?
723 Warren Street. I thought it was storefront, but I didn't get any.
No, it just can't, I sent it out and said this was a last minute arrival.
It's not for a sign, Phil. It's for renovations, but there were no elevations included.
Okay, fine. Then move on. We're done with that discussion. Let's go to the C of A applications then. First up is 127 Warren Street for a sign. Is anyone here from 127?
Yes, I'm here.
Terrific. Who's speaking?
My name is Lauren Schaefer.
Oh, there you are, Lauren. Thank you so much.
Hi.
Are you able to upload your application, or should I ask Shaheem to upload that for you?
Put it onto Zoom or share my screen.
Share your screen on Zoom.
Share my screen on Zoom. Yeah, I can do that. No problem.
Thank you very much.
Okay. All right, I think it should be sharing with you momentarily.
Okay. If it doesn't
Okay.
come up, Lauren, then yeah, there we go.
Can you see it?
We can do, and this is
Okay,
going
great.
to be a fine wine and spirits called Grapefruit.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah. So this is the sign that we're proposing. And I'm also happy to email. Do you all have copies of this?
I sent copies out to.
Okay, great. Great. Do you want me to scroll down so you can we can like move through the
Why don't you
page?
talk about what you're constructing and material and a little bit of that kind
Yeah,
of.
absolutely. So the reason that we're proposing to hang this sign out front of the wine shop that we're hoping to open. The sign, we wanted to go with wood because we wanted to kind of harken back to the whaling signs that are traditional in Hudson. So although it looks quite dark here, it'll be a natural wood that kind of gray with time. The letters will be carved and then they will be painted white. So we put some renderings or some photographs of the building with like a superimposed image of the sign, so you could kind of see it against the scale of the building.
Okay. Just a word to the commission. Any of these sign apps before they come to us have been reviewed and approved by Craig. So we don't need to talk about code or whatnot. It's really just approving in terms of 169. Commissioners, any comments at all?
I think it looks great. Is that bracket is not existing? I'm sorry if that's a new bracket, right?
Yeah, there previously was a bracket there, but there's not a bracket currently.
Okay. I think it looks very appropriate.
Cool.
Great.
May I have a motion? Any other comments? Excuse me.
I like it very much. I think it's terrific that it's a sculptural piece that describes the business, and I love the fact that it's going to be a weathered wood as part of the color and texture of the sign. I think it's terrific.
Cool. Anyone else? Good. We have a motion to find the application complete. Anyone at all?
I'll make it, John.
Thank you so much, John. And I will second. All in favor by voice to find the application complete? Aye. Are there
Aye.
any opposed? None. May I have a motion to, I don't know this, in this action, whether we have to state waive a public hearing, but we're going to waive a public hearing and ask the city attorney to prepare a certificate of appropriateness. May I have a motion to approve the application? Anyone?
So moved.
Miranda, thank you. And someone please. Second.
Second.
That's you. Thank you very much. You all in favor by voice? Aye.
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 So terrific, approved, and you will have your certificate of appropriateness in 2 weeks, and congratulations on your new store, Lauren.
Thank you so much,
Okay, take care.
y'all. Thank you. You too.
I have a sign for 437 Warren Street. Is there anyone online right now representing 437 Warren?
That's me.
Hi, who's
Hi.
speaking?
My name is Sarah. I'm from Matthew Signs.
Okay, good morning, Sarah. Thank you.
Yep,
So-
no problem.
Are you able to share your screen and talk about your sign?
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm on my phone. We don't have computers that have cameras on them.
Fortunately, we have Shaheem, and fortunately, I think I remembered to send this to him. So Shaheem, if you could put up 437 Warren Street, please.
Yep. So this is all I have for that. I have a C of A for 437.
Were there photos or anything, or I didn't get there?
No photos.
I received them in the package that you sent out, Phil.
You did, Chip?
Yes,
With photos, right?
with photos, yes.
Can I ask that you share that?
Now I don't. Thank you so much. I'll see what I can do here.
I mean, I can share a picture of the picture I have. Let's see.
Oh, that's not bad. Bring that a little closer to the camera. So what do we got?
Okay, so this is going to be a double-sided MDO wood sign for Time & Co. They rebranded their name, so they're getting a new sign.
Okay,
There it is. There it is. All right.
well done. Can you describe that a little more?
Yep, it's just a MDO hanging sign. They already have a bracket there. We're just putting up the new sign for them. It's in, like I said, a double-sided MDO, 24-inch by 24-inch.
Okay, cool.
Is it a new bracket?
No, they're going to use the existing one because we just made that bracket for them last year. So
Terrific. Commissioners, any comments?
I
Yes,
like
Sarah.
Yeah.
Sarah, this is
Yep.
Craig.
Hey.
The sign over the doorway, is that the one that's being removed?
yes,
Okay, thanks.
yeah, no problem.
A motion to find the application complete for 437 Warren Street, a new store called Time. Anyone?
So
Very
moved.
Philip, and I will second that to smooth things along. All in favor of finding the application complete, say aye by voice.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Anyone? No opposed. A motion to approve this application and ask the city attorney to prepare a C of A. Anyone?
So moved.
Miranda, second. All in favor by voice? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
No opposed. Congratulations. 2 weeks.
Thank
you'll
you.
have C of A, and congratulations on your new business.
Thanks.
Next, I have 502 Union Street. we had reviewed that application and we'd asked for additional specifications. The applicant did indeed send some additional specifications. I think there's something with a greenhouse, stairs, and there may have been a question around the fenestration. Is anyone here from 502 Union Street?
Yes, the whole team is here.
Terrific.
Chad and Jeannie and Stephanie are all here.
Okay. Could you go ahead then and share your screen with the addendum that we had asked for?
Everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Great. So as you were saying, the request from previous meetings was for more information on a few elements of the building design, the Union Street facade in particular, and then the fenestration and the brick detailing as well. So we tried to address those in our latest resubmission. So regarding the Union Street facade, this again is the existing facade everyone's familiar with. And then this is our proposed design. We tried to sort of soften the stair with some sort of planted climbers on cabling in the middle of the square spiral. In addition, there were concerns about like the dumpsters being exposed. So those are going to be contained now within a metal enclosure. Regarding the entrance and picture window, which have some brick detailing surrounding them, for the entire glazing system right now is being sourced by, or it's being manufactured by this Canadian company called Alumalco. And they have very minimal contemporary thin framed window systems that are very, very environmentally friendly, very insulative. And so we're having them do all the windows. They're going to be thin framed, depending if they're fixed or if they're sliding or operable. The frames range anywhere from 2 inches to about 4 inches in width. And all the finishes are going to be sort of a brushed matte aluminum. And so here we have the entrance portal. And then more information, more specific information about the detailing of the brick was requested. So here we have sort of to the brick, the profiles in plan section, and also just kind of vertical section as well, showing a sort of 3-1 pattern that we have stepping inward toward the portal. And then for the picture window as well, there's like an asymmetry that creates an alignment with the garage door below. And again, we have this sort of undulating sort of plastic stepping of the brickwork toward the portal or toward the picture window. And then concerning the windows, we wanted to provide more information about the operability of all the windows. So like I mentioned to you, it's going to be a combination of fixed, sliding, and sort of tilting awning type windows. So on Cherry Alley, we have sliders for the cafe. And then awning type windows just for ventilation for the bedrooms above. What it looks like. And what it looks like when it's open. And then on the 5th Street, it's going to predominantly be sliders and then kind of awning for the small basement clerestories we're adding. This is what they look like closed and then open. And then on the Union Street side, the picture window is fixed, but then we have a garage door, which we've also provided specs for. It's done by Crown, which is, you know, kind of a well-known company for garage doors. The finishes are going to be entirely the same. So just like a very minimal brushed aluminum finish. And then these are all the cut sheets for the window profiles that we're going to be using. The crown door details. And I think we submitted this whole package a few weeks ago, and so everyone should have it if they would, wanted to take a closer look at any of the dimensions or any of the finishes or technical details. That's it.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I think it looks fantastic.
we're really excited. We hope you are too.
It looks great. You guys are
Yeah.
doing a great job.
Wayne?
I like it very much and feel like you really turned your attention to careful detailing and execution. I really like it all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chip.
May I have a motion then to find the application complete? Anyone?
Motion.
Hugh Biber, thank you so much. I will second. All in favor by voice?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. The application is complete. Motion to waive a public hearing and request the city attorney to prepare a certificate of appropriateness. Anyone wish to make that motion? Chip, you should. You had a lot of input on this.
I will make that motion.
Second.
Who wants to second?
Second.
Thank you very much, Hugh. By voice, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Congratulations, you guys. You're doing a great addition to Hudson.
Thank you. We much appreciate the thoughtfulness of the process. Thank you all for taking time and effort.
Take care.
Great. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye. Miranda, you had you and I had spoken on the phone, and you had mentioned that there was a fence application which would seem to have gotten missed. Can you address that, Miranda, if you're on?
You're on mute.
Do we lose Miranda?
She's there. She just needs to unmute herself.
Miranda, unmute yourself.
My apologies.
Miranda,
So,
you mentioned an application that somehow got skipped over. If you could bring that up.
right. There was an application from Robert Weil, who lives at 102 Union Street, for a fence that apparently he's a friend of mine. So he told me that he had submitted this actually about 6 weeks ago and expected to see it on the agenda last time. And it wasn't, but it was certainly going to be on the agenda this time. And then I noticed it wasn't there. So I'm just wondering, I did speak with him. He said his contractor had spoken with Craig. So I'm just not sure what the problem is.
Okay. Craig, are you still, I mean, I got to say that it's entirely plausible the problem is still. That
No,
Craig,
I'm here.
I don't know. But Craig, do you recall this?
Yeah, the application was not submitted 6 weeks ago. The contractor, or Robert Thorsey, who's handling whatever they're doing down there, had called about it and thought that they could just do the fence without a C of A app, and I told them no, and then they submitted it approximately, I'm looking for it now in my stack of papers, 2 weeks ago, but it's only got the application. There's no rendering of anything other than just an application. And I tried to contact the applicant with no results, and I've actually got a call from them today at approximately, I got the application in front of me dated July 13th for 102 Union Street from a Robert Weld. They didn't indicate anything other than a fence, but there's no rendering, there's no nothing, just the application. And being that it was submitted for the 13th, and we had already discussed that new applications will be at the first meeting of each month, which would be the 14th of August.
Okay. Miranda, is that helpful?
You're unmuted again, Miranda.
No, I mean, I guess so. I'm just surprised that he didn't know that the application wasn't complete because he's been desperately trying to get this fence done. So,
well, again, it was a phone call conversation from Robert Thorsey because they didn't even have the application. They thought they were part of their original application for their roof work and all that stuff they were doing, and the fence was never included in that. So I'd explained to him that he has to apply for a new application and submit it, and then that new applications are reviewed at the first meeting of the month, And the second meeting of the month is for awarding the certificates. So on July 13th, he had dropped off the application, and he just dropped it. I didn't get a chance to talk with him. And, after I reviewed it, there's no other information other than just a 3-page certificate of appropriateness application. And I had left a message for him to call me, and I heard back from him yesterday, and I didn't get a chance to call him back. And then he called me this morning, which I was already in another meeting. So, we have it. It wasn't missed, but I'm missing a lot of information, and I will call them back when I get off of this meeting today.
Okay, that's great, Craig. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone. I can't tell you how delighted I was to hear that it was not something I had screwed up.
You're perfect.
I'm enthusiastic about any.
Well,
other-
I would take this moment to thank both you and Craig for the enormous amount of administration and keeping the trains running on time. I think it's quite amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. With that said, can I ask a quick question? At some point, Phil, we got to get together and get these approved C of A's to me. I don't know the easiest way to do that, and somehow we'll have to figure that out. I pray every day that these Zoom meetings can go away and we can start meeting in public.
So, you and I had talked a little bit. What I'm going to do is do a complete list of everything that has been awarded a C of A. Make sure the certificates are correct and complete. And on your end, I think we thought that you would be able to get back to most of the applicants and ask them to do a bit of Xeroxing for us, because at the end of the day, the stuff ends up in our system in paper files, and we'll need 3 copies just for our purposes. So that seemed like a good plan. I need to get my somebody, part of mine in gear and get that done. I'll try to get it done. Let me reframe it. I'm going to get it done this week.
And that system seems to be a pretty good system, Phil. We're doing the same thing with zoning and planning, and so far it's working. So
Okay, so we will get it done this week. I'm gonna cease commenting and just say yep. Okay.
cool. Thanks.
I wanted to just touch base with everybody, and Victoria, please particularly weigh in on this. In terms of next steps on 241 Columbia, a lot of people have done some work, including a lot of people in the community, in terms of putting together their thoughts, and certainly 2 people in particular on the commission put in a lot of time. Paul Barrett being one. Paul and I made a flying leap on wrapping up sort of a nice book or compendium of everything that the commission had reviewed, and we tried to do that yesterday. But Paul, fortunately for him and unfortunately for us, actually has a day job, and got pulled off that and had to do work. We will get that done. We'll get a package to the commissioners with all of the docs. Paul had also kindly agreed to do a draft resolution that would go with that package, assuming that we do vote to go forward. It would be useful to have that on hand, because Victoria, correct me, I believe whatever we do, it's got to go to the Common Council.
Right. So what your role is to make a recommendation to the Common Council. And so that recommendation, I like the idea of putting it together with some kind of book or package.
We will.
Based on the attached, the commission makes the following recommendation. So I think that's great, because that will really help the commission out, or the Common Council, when they receive the package. And I'd like to take a look at that draft resolution.
Of
before
course.
the- So we can check the wording.
Okay. That's it on next steps. I had sent at the commission's direction a letter to the planning board regarding the proposed cell tower for Verizon. It did go out at the last meeting to you all. I don't know if anybody saw it. I would like you to take a look at it and see if you want to participate in any further discussion with planning. Our letter went to Betsy Gramko, who's the chair of planning. It was acknowledged, cordially received in the sense of, not yay or nay, but thank you for weighing in, and distributed to the members of planning. So this afternoon or tomorrow, if you didn't get a chance to look at what really is our letter from HPC to planning, I'll make sure that goes out to you again, and do try to take a look at it. Does anyone have any new business or further business to discuss?
Yes, Phil. This is
Go ahead.
Craig. I just want to bring it to your attention, and I'll have to figure out, it's actually an easy way to do it, but just so you're aware, on the 21st of July, there was a resolution amending the schedule fees for the city of Hudson. And on the 22nd of July, it was approved and signed by the mayor's office, by the city mayor. There will now be a fee for all certificate of appropriateness applications. There's a reduced fee for sign applications. So just so you're aware, the certificate of appropriateness application will now require a $100 fee. Certificate of appropriateness applications for signs would require a $25 fee. So what that means is that when we collect these applications, before we even process them, we have to have the fee, we have to register it in our logbook, we have to create a receipt, and then that gets forwarded off to the treasurer's office. Once we get a copy of that back, then it gets attached to the application. Now it's an executed application. So we may have a little bit of a hiccup going along this because it's new to this commission. The only commission in the city that's been charging a fee has been the zoning board, but now there's a fee for planning and zoning and HICSTAR. So I don't know if you were aware of this, and then I have to talk to our legal team to figure out, is this being put out to the public? So because it's going to be a culture shock when people start submitting their applications. So just so at least the commission's aware of this, and you can get a copy of that resolution, I believe, on the city website if you want it.
Thank you, Craig. I have a question for Attorney Polidoro on this. I was aware that this was in the works because President of the Common Council contacted me, Tom DiPietro, with some questions about process. I had hoped he would ask me to, or the whole commission, frankly, to weigh in on determining the fee structure. I had suggested to him that whatever we do, that we find a way to make it progressive, if you will. That is, there's a big difference between somebody doing a $1,000 window repair or whatever,
Right.
and a $2 million project. I have, unfortunately, I hope you don't think badly of me for it, a lot of experience in this because I spent 20 years in corporate procurement. And when you charge people fees or create hurdles that they believe to be unfair or unreasonable, what you accomplish is bypass. Associating a $100 fee with homeowner small projects, people are not always so comfortable with historic from the beginning, disturbs me greatly. Do we have any remedy?
Sure. So a fee schedule, most communities have one. It's actually odd for Hudson not to have any fees for applications that are submitted. fees are supposed to be used to cover the cost of administration. So all the copies that you end up having to make, you know, Craig's time, et cetera, the fees are supposed to help offset that. That being said, this is Hudson's first shot at a fee schedule. So, you know, I think you can still provide comments, and there's no reason why it cannot be revisited later this year, once you have some experience with it, or even just to make some changes as you suggested.
Okay.
It seems like going from $0 to $100 is kind of a steep climb there.
I think Phil's point is excellent, right? We don't want people to shy away from coming here, and the scope of the work does impact the scope of to Victoria's point, the scope of the work does impact the scope of the administrative cost. So to have a one size fits all for even minor stuff seems to be a lot. So I would definitely support a graduated scale for that.
Thank
So
you.
I would recommend that you guys put together, you know, what you think is appropriate, and then you can vote and forward it to them.
That's a great idea.
Another option too might be to have as a part of the an opportunity for the homeowner to request a waiver of the fee based on the scope of the work or their financial situation. Obviously, that wouldn't apply to big jobs, but it would allow us to give relief if someone is just trying to repair their leaky window and they're not a high-end project.
So generally, waivers would have to be granted by the Common Council. But
That sounds like an administrative burden that we shouldn't inflict on others or ourselves. I like the idea of a graduated thing. If the building permit is estimated to cost $1,000, then it costs X. And if it's more than that, then Y. I just made that up, but.
Not to interrupt, but this is Craig again. Just so everybody's aware, the fee in Victoria is right. The fee is for administrative purposes, is not based on the size of the job or whatever the case may be, because every one of these reviews are handled the same exact way. It's not handled based on the amount of time it takes you to review and approve. It's handled on the amount of time it takes from the time we receive it to the time we review it and get it off to the commission. It's the same thing as, for example, zoning. They charge one fee. It doesn't matter on the size of the project. What matters on the size of the projects is when these approvals are done. That's why we have a schedule fee under building permits. And the building permits are based on the cost and the estimated size of the jobs. So there is a little confusion with that, and I think what happened with it is, and I actually talked to the Common Council president regarding this situation, is one of the big concerns was fines. Fines have a flat rate of $50 per sign permit. So they were going to do a $100 fee across the board, and I said, well, geez, it'll cost them more for a review of a fine than what it will actually cost them for the fine permit. And the fine review is approximately 5 minutes, in all honesty.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you see a different fee for a fine, because it's relatively small and it's based on code. Everything else is really based on processing and administration. It has really nothing to do with the size of the job. So I just wanted to put that out there because there was a little input put into this, and it is new. And as we all know, there's a lot of time goes into preparing these applications and reviewing them and getting them to you folks. And then every one of these departments and commissions have a budget line, and there's no revenue coming off of these budget lines. So there was a good purpose for it. And the Common Council does set the fees for the city, so it's there.
I'm all for
for
it, and I
input.
think that's great context. I mean, there should be a fee, right? Of course. But I still think 0 to 100 feels like a lot, especially if you're undertaking something small. It's just the impact. But I think that's great color.
I actually haven't seen the fee schedule. If Craig or Phil, if you have it, would you mind forwarding it to me?
Sure. Actually, what I'll do is I'll forward it to you, Victoria and Phil, and then you can share it with the commission.
Okay.
And just so you know, the planning board also, who never collected a fee, which is really odd. I think every jurisdiction in the country probably collects a fee for planning, and City of Hudson never has. They went from 0 to 500. So there's some, and
Good
these
context.
fees, you know, these fees, and they did some research. They called other towns and jurisdictions, and they did some search on it. And these fees are really compatible to other cities and towns.
Okay.
It's not unusual, I guess, but it is a culture shock.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, we should Google. Then that's a great idea, and we should just Google search a fee and see what it costs in another town. Like, if $100 is the, we always look at other jurisdictions as models for everything we do. Then I think that could inform our opinion.
John,
I guess, like,
Thanks,
John,
Craig.
am I hearing
the city
volunteer?
of Rochester, for example, they charge a $150 fee for the code review before it even goes to the commissions. And they wanted to do that, and I said, no, I already do the code review based on the building permit. So some towns even charge that.
Thanks, Craig. Hey, John,
Yes.
am I hearing that you just volunteered to do some
I'm
benchmarks?
sure we can do some very quick Google searches.
John, who's we?
And just, really, because otherwise Craig makes a great point. There should be a fee. There is administrative effort, and we should know whether $100 seems like a lot or not.
Okay.
That's all.
Accurate. So Aaron put in the minutes, John agreed to do some benchmarks on fees, and we thank him in advance.
Bill, you really want to make sure that's not on you.
May I have a motion? May I have a motion to adjourn? Miranda, excellent. I'll second. All in favor by voice, aye.
Aye.
Bye.
We're done for today. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day. Stay safe.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.